Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, that's good. That's real good. My name is Bill Matz. I'm your director of fun and games for the evening. We have a trade. It has happened. Danny Briere got his first round pick. He got it for Sean Walker. He sends him to Colorado, and we see it now. The breaking news: Flyers receive a conditional 2025 first round pick, so a first rounder next year that is top 10 protected. And if it is in the top 10 next year, which is ridiculously unlikely, it's the Colorado Avalanche. Their entire team would have to get hurt for that to happen. It slides to 2026, basically the same conditions as the Florida pick was. And the Flyers also get Ryan Johansen, 1 year left on his deal. I think at $4 million. I believe he's already on waivers. So that is just a cap dump for the Colorado Avalanche. The Avalanche get back, Sean Walker, Flyers defenseman, came over from the Kings as part of that three-team deal to send Ivan Provorov to Columbus. So I'm getting all these messages and trying to keep everything straight right now. I'm sorry. And a 2026 fifth-round pick goes the Avalanche's way as well. If you check out Charlie's Twitter feed, he goes into a whole thing about salary retention and taking back contracts like the Flyers are in this instance with Ryan Johansen, what that costs and that sort of nature. So we'll just get into this trade though. And for everyone like, where's Charlie? Where's Kelly? Charlie is right now boarding a flight to Florida to go on this trip for the Florida-Tampa trip. And Kelly's stuck at work until like 4 or 5 o'clock. I'm going to try to put something together for the three of us to have a reaction show, hopefully later tonight for you. But I just wanted to provide my instant reaction to this one right away because, man, this is a big deal. It's the first in-season big deal Danny Briere has made. I think it's very Jim G says they got their first for Walker. I don't think they could have gotten much more. No, I don't think so. And taking a player back as they did with the Ryan Johansen contract, at least, we'll see what happens next with him. He is a center with decent enough, bottom six scoring numbers this year. I don't know really how he factors into this team. He is over 50%. He's like 53.5% career in faceoffs. He's around that number this year, so maybe he could play a role. But the fact that I'm fairly certain he's already on waivers means this is a straight salary cap dump. Now, that said, we thought the same thing about Sean Walker, so who the hell knows? But this is exciting to see that Danny Briere once again gets a little creative in order to make his asking price happen. We saw it in the summer with Provorov. He knew what he wanted for Ivan Provorov, and it was, well, Columbus doesn't really want him at that, even with the retention. We'll see. Okay, we can make things work with the three-team trade with LA. Flyers take back, Cal Peterson and Sean Walker. As they did, they get the first-round pick, and it all kind of works out. They select Oliver Bonk with it. Now we're seeing Danny B once again. All right, maybe I'm not going to get a 2024 first round pick. You look at the trades that happened around the league just early today. Vladimir Tarasenko. Now that's a bit of a different situation. No trade clause, not exactly having like when you think Tarasenko that sort of year. He's been okay for Ottawa, but no trade. He basically only wanted to go to the Panthers. That lowers their leverage. But he goes for basically what is a third and a fourth. It could be 2/3 if the Panthers win the cup. That's a hell of a condition to put on a pick. So probably a third and a fourth. Although Florida's damn good. And then you're like, okay, Sean Walker, is he really going to bring back that first round pick we're hoping for? And Danny Briere finds a way to make it happen. He doesn't go for the 2024 first, which I am okay with. I am pretty cool with the 2025 pick. Now, it's a Colorado pick, so it's going to be in the mid-20s probably no matter what. But I've said all along, I'm kind of focusing on assets down the line and what you can then hopefully turn those into when this team's competitive. Now, 2025, that's just, next season. That's next year's draft. So it's not, okay, well, yeah, we're going to try to trade that for Sidney Crosby. I doubt that. But I do like kind of focusing down the line on the assets that could maybe not just be not just be, okay, guys, we're going to draft and develop, and 4 or 5 years from now, maybe they're a part of this team. It's, hey, that first round pick that we got for Colorado, like maybe a defenseman we need. And I'm seeing the Jacob Chikrin stuff. I haven't seen anything more on that since the initial, hey, the Flyers are one of the teams in on Chikrin. I'm just trying to read some updates here. I'm reading Charlie. Yeah, Flyers giving up a 5th in 2026. That's the entire trade. That's, Sean Walker and a 2026 5th for a 2025 first and Ryan Johansen. So we'll see about the potential next shoe to drop with this team. It's exciting though. I was starting to worry about Danny Briere. All the Nick Seeler stuff comes out today, and it's going to be maybe $3.3 million for 4 years to keep Nick Seeler around 3-4 years. Johansen was waived by the Flyers, so that's good to see. He's already on waivers. We'll see if he clears. What happens then? Do they assign him to the Phantoms? Is it just so they can send him down? We'll see if he ends up playing for this team or not at all. He does have another year left on his deal, I believe. Could have checked all this before we went live, but it's more fun to do it while I'm just stream of consciousing you by myself, waiting for a co-host a little later. Where that Ryan Johansen, next year at $4 million as well. Then he's an unrestricted free agent. So the Flyers, for taking on what they take on with this contract, end up getting their first round pick. And I think that's the big takeaway, is that Danny Briere has the price in his mind, and he's going to do whatever it takes to make those things happen. As I said, we saw with Provorov, and now we're seeing with Sean Walker. And the Ivan Provorov tree just keeps, so essentially you got 2 first-round picks for Ivan Provorov. One turned into Oliver Bonk. We'll see what the other one turns into. But that's, as Blinson just said, and we're speaking the same language here. I see your comment up on the screen. 2 first-round picks for Ivan Provorov. That works out, man. Even though they're going to not be maybe the best picks. Oliver Bonk looks like a great pick already, so we'll see. And then whatever this one turns into, it seems like pretty damn good return on this Ivan Provorov trade dating all the way back to the summer, considering it's a guy that, they weren't all that interested in keeping. John Tortorella didn't want him around. He was not popular in the locker room. Well, you got a hell of a return for him. So the initial grades on Danny Briere are pretty strong. I'm happy with what I'm seeing right now. And now we just wait for the other shoe to drop. What's it going to take to acquire a Jacob Chikrin? We will see about that. I just saw this comment here from Alex Appleyard, who works with Charlie. The 2025 draft, great at center. Another thing to love about the trade. So absolutely, that's something we should all be focused on, is how are they going to get that? How are they going to get that top end pick? Well, or how are they going to get that top line center, that first line 1C, no doubt about it guy? Well, the answer is maybe neither the Flyers nor the Avalanche pick that guy's there, but now you have 2. You can always move up. It's on the table. It's a huge pay. It's a huge ask, 2 firsts. But shit, you just got 2 firsts for Ivan Provorov. Turn those into a first-line center. Why the hell not? So we'll stay with this. And I do want to react a little to the Nick Seeler contract. That's not official yet. I haven't seen, but it looks like it's going to. It looks like it's going to be probably by Friday. And I tweeted this out earlier, but I have a lot of thoughts on it. And when I get a chance to talk to JP, Charlie, Kelly, whoever the rest of the week, we can discuss them. But one, good for him, man. Gets some security, goes from his NHL career almost, basically being over to being signing a multi-million-dollar contract. That's cool for him. 3.33 is the reported number I think I saw from DeMarco. It's not 4. It's not 3.5. I was hoping for more in the 2.5 to 2.8 range, but It's not going to kill you. It's 4%, less than 4% of the cap. I think I saw 3.8% of the cap. It's not going to be the end of the world that they don't get, a third round pick for Nick Seeler. And it's not the worst thing in the world. Yeah, 8 picks in the first 2 rounds in the next 2 drafts. That's huge. Whether you're looking to make trades in the draft, trades for actual active guys in the NHL now, or you just want to stockpile your farm system, the Flyers have a ton of options. And I think that's huge. The optionality, I think I've heard it said as. So those things are good. But yeah, Nick Seeler, good for him. We'll see how it works out when it becomes official. It's not the end of the world. I would have traded him personally. I think Charlie kind of said the same thing on Twitter earlier, but it's not going to kill you, and it's probably not going to overlap even maybe for 1 year with Matvei Michkov. That's it. Bill, are you expecting another trade? I am. Whether it's bringing someone in, maybe they move Scott Lawton. I don't know if it's going to be that. Maybe it's something smaller. Maybe it's some sort of asset swap. I'm expecting more than just what happened today, just based on immediately, you're seeing, well, the Flyers are one of the teams that called about Chychrun. Now they have all these picks. Like, if it's the Florida pick for Jacob Chychrun, why are they interested in him? I guess it's a long-term solution, and it would go to when we talked about yesterday, when Charlie and I talked about if the potential to sign Sean Walker, that's what it was. If they were going to maybe keep Sean Walker rather than trade him, it was, all right, well, then some other shoe has to drop because the defense doesn't make sense now as currently constituted. You're going to just run it back, and it would be, you'd probably be trading Rasmus Ristolainen. That would be the trade-off as you move on from Ristolainen, probably in the offseason based on his injury and the salary and all that. I think it just makes more sense. There'd probably be a lot of moving parts to a Risto trade to get it done in the next few hours. But if they were to be in the mix for Jacob Chychrun, which I don't know to be a fact, it's just the next thing that you saw mentioned after the fact. And I know the Flyers have been interested in him in the past. Different regime now, but a lot of the same scouts, a lot of the same opinions still in that building. So we will see how that part plays out, but that's what we have for right now. Flyers get their first rounder for Sean Walker. That's really, really exciting. And we'll see what happens next, whether it's the Nick Seeler deal becomes official, whether there are more moves, whether the Flyers sell more, whether they actually acquire somebody. But for right now, at this moment, I got to give Danny Briere the big thumbs up. And I got to thank our presenting sponsor, our good friends at Mortgage CS, for helping us put this little emergency pod together. The Flyers make this trade. Start your home buying process today at mortgagecs.com/PHLY. My name is Bill Matz. I will hopefully be speaking to you a little bit later again with more people to break down this trade and any subsequent moves that happen between now and whenever I'm able to get a hold of Charlie and Kelly. It's the worst possible day. Like, it's the off day for PHLY Flyers. So of course something happened today. Like, I wish I could have bet money on this, like, oh yeah, we're not doing a show today. We have post game Thursday. We have the trade deadline show Friday. So Wednesday's our off day. No, of course they made a trade today. That was inevitable. I don't know why I didn't see it coming. But this first trade is a good one. Looking forward to hearing the reaction from our friends at DNVR Avalanche as well. Make sure you check them out, see what they think of this trade. That's it. Hopefully I'll talk to you later. My name is Bill Matz. Have a great trade deadline, Philly.